The pounding on Marcus Wilson's door at 2 a.m. wasn't just unexpected, it was terrifying. Standing there in his worn flannel pajama pants, 5-year-old daughter asleep upstairs, he hesitated before turning the deadbolt. Outside stood a young woman, drenched from the storm, blood trickling from her temple. "Please," she whispered, eyes darting toward the shadows behind her. "They're coming." Marcus had no idea that letting her cross his threshold would change everything, or that the woman trembling before him held secrets that would put them all in danger. If you're feeling that chill down your spine already, hit that like button and subscribe to catch more incredible stories of ordinary heroes facing extraordinary circumstances. Your support helps us bring these powerful narratives to life. Marcus hadn't welcomed anyone into his home since Sarah died 2 years ago. The house on Maple Street had become a fortress of grief, a place where he and little Emma existed in the quiet rhythm of their diminished family. His days revolved around drop-offs at kindergarten, shifts at the construction company, and frozen dinners eaten while Emma chattered about her day. Friends had stopped calling months ago, worn down by his polite refusals. His mother-in-law still visited on Sundays, her disapproving glances saying what her lips wouldn't, that he wasn't doing enough, wasn't healing fast enough. "I'm Ava," the woman said, her voice barely audible over the rain hammering against the windows. She couldn't be more than 25, with dark hair plastered to her face and a jacket too thin for the November chill. "I'm sorry. I didn't know where else to go." Marcus handed her a towel, keeping his distance. "Are you hurt? Should I call someone?" "No police," she said quickly, eyes widening with panic. "Please. I just need somewhere to stay tonight. I'll be gone before your daughter wakes up." He froze. "How do you know about my daughter?" Ava's gaze dropped to the floor where Emma's rain boots sat beside the door, a princess backpack hanging on the hook above. "Lucky guess," she said, but something in her expression made Marcus uneasy. He should have asked her to leave then. Should have trusted the warning bells ringing in his head. But the storm outside was vicious, and there was something in her eyes, a desperation he recognized from his own mirror. "The couch," he said finally. "One night. And we talk in the morning." That night, Marcus barely slept, sitting in the hallway between Emma's room and the living room where their mysterious guest tossed and turned. He scrolled through local news on his phone, searching for missing persons reports or crimes that might explain the woman's appearance at his door. Nothing. Dawn broke with the gentle patter of Emma's feet on the hardwood floor. "Daddy?" she called, rubbing sleep from her eyes. "Who's the lady on our couch?" Before Marcus could answer, Ava was sitting up, her face transformed by a gentle smile. "I'm an old friend of your dad's," she said, her voice warm and steady, nothing like the terrified whisper from the night before. "You must be Emma. Your dad has told me so much about you." The lie slipped out so easily that Marcus felt a chill. But Emma, starved for female attention since losing her mother, was instantly captivated. By breakfast, she was showing Ava her collection of seashells, explaining each one's origin with solemn importance. "Coffee?" Marcus asked Ava when Emma ran upstairs to get dressed. "Please," she said, and then, lower, "I owe you an explanation." "Start with who's after you," he said, sliding a mug across the counter. Ava wrapped her hands around the warm ceramic. "My ex-boyfriend. He's connected. Dangerous people. I found something I shouldn't have on his computer. Financial records. Names. I think he's laundering money for someone big. And the blood on your face last night?" Her hand drifted to the small cut at her temple. "A warning. Next time will be worse. You need to go to the police." "They're paid off," she said, with such certainty that Marcus believed her. "I just need a few days to figure out where to go. I have a friend in Canada who can help, but I need to be careful about contacting her." Marcus should have said no. Should have told her this wasn't his problem. But Emma was back, tugging at Ava's hand, asking if she could braid her hair like the princesses in her books. 2 days, he said finally. Then we figure something else out. Those 2 days stretched into a week. Ava was careful, never leaving the house, staying away from windows. She cooked dinner each night, real meals that made Emma giggle with delight. She helped with homework, read bedtime stories. In the evenings, after Emma was asleep, she and Marcus talked. About Sarah. About the emptiness of grief. About the life Ava had fled, a whirlwind romance that had slowly revealed itself as a trap. He isolated me, she explained one night, her voice hollow. First from friends. Then family. By the time I realized who he really was, I had nowhere to go. Marcus recognized the tactics. Had seen them with his sister's ex-husband. How did you end up at my door? Ava hesitated. Chance, she said finally. I was just running. Your porch light was on. He didn't believe her, but he didn't press. The truth was, having her there had awakened something in the house, and in him. Emma was flourishing with Ava's attention. And Marcus found himself looking forward to their late-night conversations, to the way she listened without judgment, to the quiet understanding in her eyes. On the 8th day, Marcus came home from work to find Emma and Ava baking cookies, flour dusting their cheeks, laughter filling the kitchen. For a moment, watching from the doorway, he could almost pretend they were a normal family. That the shadows didn't exist. That night, after Emma was asleep, Ava sat beside him on the porch swing. I need to leave tomorrow, she said quietly. I've stayed too long already. It's not safe for you and Emma. Marcus felt a protest rising in his throat, but before he could speak, headlights swept across the front yard. A black SUV pulled to the curb, engine idling. Ava's face drained of color. They found me, she whispered. Marcus pulled her inside, locking the door behind them. Get Emma, he said, already moving toward the kitchen where he kept a baseball bat. We'll go out the back. But Ava didn't move. There's something I need to tell you, she said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. I didn't end up here by chance. I chose your house. Because of what you do. What I do? I'm a construction foreman. No, she said. What you did before. In the military. Special forces. The man I'm running from, he's afraid of people like you. Marcus felt the world tilt. He hadn't spoken about his military past in years. Had buried that part of himself when he became a father. How could you possibly know that? The same way I know there's a gun hidden in the flour canister. And another in the hallway closet. The same way I know you've been watching the streets every night since I arrived. Her eyes held his. I did my research before I ran. I needed someone who could protect me. Someone good. The sound of car doors slamming outside broke the moment. Marcus moved to the window, carefully peering through the blinds. 3 men in dark clothing were approaching the house. Get Emma, he repeated, his voice dropping into the command tone he hadn't used in years. Take her to the panic room in the basement. Code is 5-2-2-9. Don't come out until I come for you. Ava nodded, already moving toward the stairs. Marcus, she said, turning back. I'm sorry I lied. But I'm not sorry I came here. What followed was a night of violence Marcus had hoped never to revisit. The men were professionals, but they hadn't expected resistance. Hadn't known they were walking into the home of a man trained to protect at all costs. When it was over, 2 were unconscious, zip-tied in the garage. The 3rd had fled. Marcus found Ava and Emma in the panic room, his daughter asleep in Ava's arms. It's over, he said, his knuckles raw, a cut above his eye. For now. The next morning, after Marcus had made his calls, to old military contacts, to people who could ensure the men in his garage faced justice, Ava sat at the kitchen table, bags packed. You don't have to leave, Marcus said, surprising himself with the words. "I do," she replied. "But maybe not forever." She looked toward the living room where Emma was watching cartoons. "She needs stability. And you need time." "Time for what?" "To decide if you're ready to let someone in again." "Really in?" She stood, brushing a gentle kiss against his cheek. "I'll be back when this is over. If you want me to be." 3 months later, when the doorbell rang on a sunny Saturday afternoon, Marcus opened it to find Ava standing there, a small suitcase at her feet. "They're in prison," she said simply. "All of them. It's over." Behind him, Emma's squeal of delight echoed through the house as she raced toward the door. And for the first time in years, Marcus felt the walls of his fortress begin to crumble. Sometimes protection goes both ways. Sometimes, in saving another, we save ourselves. And sometimes, the family we need finds us when we least expect it, but when we need it most. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful narratives about finding hope in the darkest moments. Share in the comments if you've ever had an unexpected encounter that changed your life. We'd love to hear your stories too.